Weekly Show.
Hello.
I am Chuck,
And Bonnie.
and we've got a nice show for you this week.
Yeah, what do we got going on?
Well,
Tell me about it.
We were up at Woodstock
No.
in Bethel, New York, yeah.
I know. Cool.
And it's, you know, you wouldn't really think of it because you kind of think of the concert and maybe you got, like this image in your head on what it looks like or looked like back in, 1969 for the concerts. It's gorgeous.
Did you feel the ghost of Janice? Did she embrace you?
Did not feel the ghost of anybody, but I will tell you that had to be 50 or 60 people in and out of there while we were there for a half hour, 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it's gorgeously, beautifully landscaped, and the houses there are huge, immense houses around that area, and it's gorgeous. It's a really nice area.
No stage set up?
There's no stage set up, but there is a big peace sign carved in the grass where the stage was.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
And it's best grass I've ever seen. It's just very meticulously landscaped. And there's a nice monument there, and there's a place for people to come and sit and reflect. And we met up with some people who, believe it or not, were there in 1969.
Wow.
For the big event. Yeah.
And they actually remember it?
Of course they did.
Well, then they didn't do it right.
They were very young. They were kids in the neighborhood. To them, it was like something new.
Okay, well, that makes sense, because I heard that if you remember Woodstock, you didn't do it right.
Well, that's what they say. Mm-hmm. And then what else do we have on the show today?
We have a special guest today.
Do we?
Yes, we do. We have Bill Jones from Honor Flight Long Island, who does a really, really cool thing with the World War II veterans and veterans in general, but mainly right now focusing on the World War II. So I'm really excited to talk to him about what's happening. And
it's not just Long Island, it's countrywide.
Yes, he's with the Long Island version, but yes, there is a whole countrywide thing.
Right, so we're going to find out more of that.
Mm-hmm. So first we're going to check in with, what are we going to do first? We're going to do a commercial, we're going to...
We'll take a quick break.
And then we're going to do the video?
Then we'll do the video.
Okay, because I'm excited, I want to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was there for real life, but I didn't see it yet. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this.
It's always been important to us to have music a part of our lives, part of our children's lives. At Village Music Shop, Bonnie and Chuck have not only made it possible for our kids to learn and understand and read music and enjoy playing a musical instrument, but they've also made it fun.
I really like coming here. I like coming to Village Music because everybody here is nice.
And they've inspired some creativity and imagination and taught them discipline. And along the way, they've gotten some self-confidence, really been like a part of our family.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
What's up, guys? We're Scared No Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
Hi, my name is Aaron from Real Big Fish.
And I'm Ed from Real Big Fish.
And you're watching the Inravio TV network.
And we're back. So we have this Woodstock footage. It was awesome being there. I can't wait until we see this.
Yes.
This
So
is
let's go
gonna be
right to
great.
it.
Let's go right to it.
I
Yeah.
want to feel Janice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jimmy with the Star Spangled Banner?
Nah, Janice, that was my thing.
Okay, let's take a look.
Hi, this is Joe Larson from Inravio TV. I'm standing feet away from the entrance to what was known as Woodstock, a concert held August 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th of 1969 here on this farmland, originally a pig's farm, and 400,000 people attended this in the rain, mud, little water, little food. As we stood here, we found some people who were there at the original concert. Tell us, how was that concert?
Well, I was young. I was only 11, but it was something that we all remember like it was yesterday. It transformed. We live a couple of miles down the road, and it really transformed the whole community for forever, really. I think probably have a few distinct memories. One was how cool our parents were. One, they walked us up here, and when there was problems with water supply, etc., they hooked up a hose to the entrance of our community and would give people free water from the hose. And then, when it started to rain, they opened their houses up for everybody to come in and get shelter if they wanted it.
My memories are very similar to Jeff's. I remember going door to door in our community collecting food. And we set up tables at the foot of the community, and as people were walking by, we would hand out food, we would hand out sandwiches. We all walked up here a number of times. I went to day camp. The counselors brought us as campers up here because they wanted to see the concert themselves. But a distinct memory of mine was sleeping at night and hearing the music through the windows, and we could hear the concert.
And with 400,000 people, it was spread out here. Now, you were there, you were a little bit younger. What are some of your memories of that?
So I was only 4 at the time, so my memory of it was really more just about the walk up, and with Jeff and my sister Phyllis and my other sister Sue and parents, and then riding back on the hood of the cars and things, and our father, who was trying to commute up from the city and couldn't make it up the traffic. I think it was like a 7-8 hour drive. It was something ridiculous. Only made it at the end when we were finally almost walking back to the community. But I remember the crowds, and I remember my sisters running when we finally got to the kind of the top of the hill here, running up into the crowd and like just being lost. It was just such a mass of people and things, but don't remember any of the music and things.
Now, 200 yards to my right is a peace sign cut into the grass, and I'm told that's where the original stage was.
Yeah, that's correct. The stage was down below, and then people just sat up on the rising hill. So it's different from where the arena is currently.
Now, how did this affect the community post-Woodstock?
Garbage all over. Well, I think that the county itself was starting a decline at that point, and it was like the last hurrah in our community to have that Woodstock Festival, and we were just saying off camera before that that this community has been riding the Woodstock wave now for almost 50 years.
And sure, it's 47 years ago, and when you look back on something like the impact that had, people still talk about that event.
No, I agree. You can never do it again.
This is Joe Larson for Inravio TV.
That was great.
That was very cool.
It was cool, right?
Yes. I felt it.
Did you feel
it?
it?
I felt it, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the people really felt it. They were all, very friendly, and yeah, it was definitely
It would have been really cool to be in one of those houses that was like right there, listening to the whole
while
show.
it was happening.
Yeah. But then again, I say that, but then when there's a party going on in my neighborhood and it's going on till 11 o'clock at night, I'm not happy. So.
Well, that's because Jimi Hendrix doesn't have a bandana wrapped around his head. He's not going bang, 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 bang. He's not playing the Star Spangled Banner to nobody, because by the time he got on stage, everybody had left. And they were just cleaning it up. It was just nothing but garbage out there in the fields. Shame of it all, but one of the things people kept asking as we were leaving, because they see you with a camera and they're like, "Ooh, camera!" They flock right to you. It's like bugs to a light, and it's like, you guys know where the tree is? The tree is. Where's the tree? Where's the tree? Was a big thing. Where's the tree? And it was a tree that it was, if you will, it was early social media. There was a tree on the corner of where Woodstock was, because it was right on the corner there where that where that memorial was, and they would post notes on the tree
Oh, okay.
for their friends.
That was their bulletin board.
That was their bulletin board. Because you would get, you know, in a 500,000, 400,000 people, you get lost, right?
Sure.
So you'd lose your friend, you'd lose your wife, your neighbor, whatever the case may be. So they'd post it on the tree. Meet me by the wherever. I don't know why you just wouldn't meet you by the tree, but because then there'd be 400,000 people by the tree.
Right, exactly.
So, but that's anyway.
Okay.
That was the big thing was the tree. Where's the tree? Is that tree still here? Where's that tree?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been nice too. You never think of that going in. I mean, whoever thinks that something they're working on is going to one day become history?
You don't.
You don't.
Because everything that you think is going to be history turns out to be a flop. And everything that you think is going to be a flop, that's
turns
what turns
out to be history.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. See, you never know.
Nope.
Just got to go. Just plow right through it.
Just make a flop, and then you'll be great.
There you go. Well, it was a flop. I mean, really, when they started, they couldn't even control the crowd, so they had no choice but to offer it as a free concert afterwards, just to keep the people in check, because there's no way they could have held them all up and got them all in there. And it was quite the undertaking. Mm-hmm. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back.
Okay.
With
Yeah, we
Bill
can do
from
that.
On a Flight. Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll be right back right after this message.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
And welcome back.
Hello.
To the weekly show. We are here today with Bill Jones from On a Flight, Long Island. And not only is it On a Flight, Long Island, but it's the whole United States.
Honor Flight America.
Well, you represent On a Flight, Long Island, but it's bigger than that.
It is. It's nationwide. There are 130 hubs around the country in 44 states, and Honor Flight Long Island is just one of those 130 hubs from around the country. So yeah, it is nationwide, and it's touching a lot of lives.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
130. Wow.
Mhm.
And it only started in 2000.
In 2005 is when it started, because the World War II Memorial was dedicated in 2004.
Right.
Now, a lot of people always thought that there already was a World War II memorial, but there wasn't. And you had the Korean Memorial and, of course, the Vietnam Memorial. You had Iwo Jima, which recognizes the Marine Corps, but not for World War II. And the story of how that got built is an incredible story by itself. But anyway, this gentleman by the name of Earl Morse from Ohio, Springfield, Ohio, was a retired captain, worked at a veterans hospital, and talked to a lot of World War II guys and said, you know, are you going to go to see your memorial? And they would go, yeah. 6 months later, they would come back, and he would say, did you go? And they would all go, no. So he said, you know, they're not going to go unless we take them. And he happened to be a private pilot, so he got his pilot group together. They got 6 aircraft, Cessnas, flew 12 guys down to Washington, and that was the beginning of Honor Flight.
Wow.
And now, as of this year, nationwide, we've taken over 180,000 World War II and Korean veterans to see their memorial in Washington. And here on Long Island, since 2007, when we first started the program here, we've taken over 1,300 World War II veterans to see their memorial.
Wow.
That's awesome. Now, you had mentioned that you came across them. You were working at Southampton Town.
At the time, right.
At the time, and that's where it kind of started, really, was there.
Yes.
They kind of helped, the town jumped right in there.
Oh, the town of Southampton was awesome because a gentleman by the name of Chris Kosick, who is the founder of Honor Flight here on Long Island, actually, he and his wife at the time got a flight together in October of 2007, put this whole thing together, a whole trip, flying down to Washington, motor coaches and all that kind of stuff. And that was the very first flight from Long Island. And then by a series of events, he and I hooked up. Then I said, you know what, let's bring this to the town. And we went to the town and said, you know, is it okay if the town offers some administrative support so we can do this program? And we explained what it was. The town signed on right from the get-go. They've been with us ever since. I just, you know, a lot of times people will say not nice things about government, but in this particular case, that people of the town of Southampton can really be proud of their town for doing it and providing this benefit for people all across Long Island, not just for the town of Southampton.
Not just town of Southampton, but all of Long Island.
Yes.
As well, so that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, we fly 2 flights every year, one in the spring and one in the fall. We had one in May. And our next flight is on Sunday, September 25th. We take 50 veterans on the trip and 50 guardians. Every veteran has a guardian who is there to help them, him or her, throughout the day and take care of all of their needs. So we all fly down together to BWI. We do a motor coach from there, 2 motor coaches into the World War II Memorial. We're down there for about 2 hours usually, and we have a group shot. Take this book, like we have a group shot. I don't know if you can be seen.
Actually, I think we may have that image for them to show.
Yeah, that's just one of our groups, and of all the as I was telling Chuck, the veterans fly free, and the guardians pay their own way for the privilege of escorting these American heroes to see their memorial. And I was telling Chuck as well, for a lot of the guardians, we say they catch honor flight fever, because I can tell you about the program, words cannot describe what an incredible day it is and how much we all get. They are living history.
Yes.
They are humble. They went to war. They came back and raised a family and went back to work and built our country, and never once running around saying, you know, how wonderful they were for doing what they did. And they're so appreciative of this opportunity to go down there and share memories. And we put this booklet that I just held up, for example, we asked them where and when you served. So all of the veterans on the flight have all written out their little biography. Did they serve in Europe? Did they serve in the Far East or stateside? And exactly what they did. And we have that so that on the chance that maybe a couple of guys would be in the same unit, or that were on the flight that didn't know each other, or it's just really moving to read these stories and what they did and the medals that they won and the campaigns that they did. In this book is, you know, like 3 guys who landed at Normandy on D-Day.
Wow.
You know, I mean, they are living history.
Yes.
And
the greatest generation, of course.
They are. Yeah, they were. That's a proper phrase for what they did and what they accomplished.
You know, we gave them a shovel and a bucket and said, "Go ahead, figure this out." And
It was an amazing undertaking.
phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal what they were
And
doing.
it was the thing, and the World War II memorial shows this in these bas reliefs, that the entire country was behind this effort. You know, it was all of the people who signed, the 16 million people who signed up to serve, and then the entire rest of the nation was in on it as well, doing, you know, with bond drives and rubber drives and
metal collecting,
all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but an important part, of course, I do want to touch on is that we do have a website. It's honorflightlongisland.org. Guardian applications are there, and veteran applications, and you can download those and mail into the address that's on the website. We still are looking for World War II veterans. There are quite a few left here on Long Island. It's one of the largest populations of World War II guys in the country. And so we seek them out. We'd really like to have them, if they happen to be listening or somebody knows of a veteran, a friend, neighbor, please sign them up for this program. It's something that they'll really
enjoy.
cherish and love.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying that you're kind of moving on to some of the other conflicts as well.
A number of the hubs around the country have already done that. Don't have a, you know, they've already exhausted their World War II population, and they've moved on to Korea. Then some have already moved on to Vietnam and some of the other Gulf conflicts as well. Our plan here on Long Island is that once we finish our World War II guys, which we're thinking will happen, our September flight will be primarily World War II guys. Our spring flight, we think, is going to start to really be heavily Korean veterans, although we'll continue to take World War II guys as long as they sign up. So
Right,
we want those World War II guys really very badly. And but yeah, we're going to be moving on to Korea. We're going to do the Korean conflict next, and then after that we'll do
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Man, you've been doing it for how long now?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes. Yeah. Seems like it's just like that. But we have plus we have a reunion event that we just held at the Air Power Museum at Republic Airport on this past Saturday. About 2 months to 3 months after the flight, we gather everybody back for a mini reunion. We had, and we present them with a photo journal of the day, of their day, and we had over 300 people there.
Wow.
You know, they bring, and this, while some family members are guardians with their grandfather or their father or their mother or grandmother, if they don't have a family member, we'll supply a guardian. But my point is that this gives the larger family a chance to experience, because these guys come home so psyched about what they did during the day and everything that they saw. When they arrive at Baltimore Washington Airport and they walk off at the airport and the entire airport is standing there, there's military personnel from a number of the posts around Washington. They're all lined up there, clapping,
Wow.
you know, shaking their hands, and then on the flip side, when we come home to Islip Airport on our last trip, on our May flight, we got back at 9:30 at night on a Saturday night. There were over 1,000 people at that airport. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Hopwalk High School Choir. We had a pipe and drum band, and then just the word just says, the people that have been touched by this program would really surprise you how many people have been touched by it in one way or the other, and they just love that opportunity to come out and thank these heroes, the guys, men and women who saved the world from tyranny and preserved our freedom. I mean, they deserve it.
And rightly so. I mean, it's you know, it's the least you can do for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple of guys that I can maybe talk to and see if they'd want to go.
Please do.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
But
important
I
part
want
is-
to, if one of them, if we get him, I want to be his guardian. I love this guy. I love it.
I know. Aren't they the best?
Yes.
They really are. And the stories that they tell, and they're just humble, you know, deserving individuals, and it's just great to be around them. Really inspiring, you know, to hang out with them for the day.
They're good people, yeah.
Yeah. We had the women, I mean, we had this one woman on a flight about a year ago. She was telling us that she was on the White House lawn when Harry Truman came out to the portico on the second floor to announce that the Japanese had surrendered.
Wow.
You know, and another woman, our daughter, has been on, she's now in college, but she went and she's going with us twice, and she was studying the Manhattan Project in school in social studies. Lo and behold, the woman that was on the flight that she went down on worked on the Manhattan Project. She was
Wow.
a secretary, but she actually worked on that project. So
it's a small world.
It is a small world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep. It's and like I said, the veterans fly free. We do raise money. We're always looking. The money has just come in, and it's just incredible how the response of the people and businesses here on Long Island when they find out about the program or they hear about it. I mean, it's really helped us in order to keep the program going, and that's certainly our desire to keep it going for a long, long time. And again, the Guardians pay $400 for the privilege of going down with these men and women, and it's worth every penny of it.
And you said that you fly out of MacArthur Airport with Southwest, right?
Yes. Yep, into BWI, Baltimore, Washington, and then we get on a motor coach from there, and typically when we get down there, there'll be a motorcycle escort from one of the local motorcycle clubs, usually veteran-related, that will escort the buses into Washington. And then after we do the World War II Memorial, we go over to Iwo Jima, and then we go to Arlington for the changing of the guard, which is always awesome. I mean, everybody just loves that. That is so moving, and it's such a great ceremony. So we do that. You do the Air Force Memorial, which is on the same side, Virginia side, and then we head back to the airport, stopping at the Golden Corral for dinner because, troops like food. So, so we feed them, and then we get them back on the plane, and we get them back at home at night. So.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure the founder of this, he probably never thought that it was going to get as big as it has. He probably never thought that it was going to be what it is.
Wildest dreams. Yeah, Earl is such a, to have that foresight, and how life works that way. He was a pilot, and he belonged to a flying club, and it all came together, and now we have Honor Flight, and the national organization and Honor Flight Long Island.
You could have been a bus driver. Get in a bus. I'm taking you to see this thing. I mean, you would think that after it was built that there would be a lot of people that would go and see it, especially if you were in World War II.
Yes.
So I could imagine his surprise when people came back and they're like, no, I didn't get to go.
Yeah, who knows whether. So for some, it might have been a financial burden,
Sure.
or health related. I mean, we take everybody at heart, just about. I mean, unless they're really in not good shape, and I mean, we'll really do our best to accommodate anybody who wants to go. But back then, most of them were in their 80s, early 90s. Now, the youngest person who served in World War II is probably going to be 88 or 89 years old. We took a guy that was 100
Wow.
On our last trip. We've had guys 99, 95, 97, all age ranges.
Did you ever happen to get somebody who knew somebody else on the plane and they haven't seen him in a long time? Or
Funny you should mention that. We did have that happen. There was a guy who lived in East Hampton and a guy who lived in Massachusetts. They had not seen each other in 47 years.
Wow.
And one of the sons arranged for them to be on the same flight together. So they've met for the first time 47 years
Wow.
later. They were both in the Navy, and they came, yeah.
That's incredible.
And another thing I'll mention is that another special thing is that Senator Bob Dole really was one of the moving forces behind getting the memorial built. And he, over the last several years, he has been there almost every Saturday for a couple of hours, and his health has not been good at all. But he'll come down there to meet his guys and shake their hand, and they love him for it, and they, all crowd around him and have their photos taken. It's incredible. And then we've had Colin Powell. One day we had, I think every star in the Marine Corps was there. We had the Commandant, along with every general that is on his staff, come down and walk around and shake their hands and say hello. It's so cool.
That's great.
Yeah, really nice. The things that happened, we were at the Golden Corral restaurant. This was probably 3 trips ago. Anyway, there was a fife and drum corps group, some kids, like high schoolers and stuff out of Pennsylvania. So they were in there in the restaurant eating as well. The leader came over and said, we'd like to play for these guys. So they stepped outside of the restaurant, but you could see them through the window, and just started playing a bunch of patriotic songs for us. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
great.
Really
nice.
That's good. And I'm sure the smiles on these guys' faces just being able to
And tears.
And the recognition,
tears. Yep. They love it. I mean, the recognition is great. And, you know, they are in the twilight of their years, but of their life. However, to a person, they constantly tell us is one of the best days of their life.
Wow.
You know, maybe next to getting married or having a child, this ranks right up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
great.
it would be great for somebody to, you know, be able to finally kind of give them what they kind of deserve. I'm sure they didn't get a lot of that once they got out of the service.
They did.
World War II, not as much.
Right,
but
yeah. Vietnam was a totally different story on
Yeah.
that front, but they were at least recognized for the great
Yeah.
victory that they brought about, and
Right.
you know, but still, you're absolutely right. I mean, to
They gave
be
a lot.
remembered, you know, this many years later means so much to them.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
And their family members too. They hear and tell stories because these guys came home and did not talk much about the war at all.
That's the way my father was. He never spoke about it. He was in the Navy. He was at Pearl Harbor. That's all we know.
This program has given those guys the opportunity to talk about it.
Right.
You know, talk about it with their family because their families have heard stories because of their trip to Honor Flight down to Washington and being a part of Honor Flight. They've heard stories that they never had heard from there. And, you know, that understanding and that newfound respect for what they did to help save our country is, it really is amazing.
Yeah, that was true. My grandfather never spoke about it. And once my mother got married, he talked to my father a little bit, but he never talked to the women about that stuff, never.
Yeah, I think they really didn't want to relive that or bring the family into that whole thing, so they kind of kept it quiet. I mean, honestly, I didn't even see pictures of my father's ship until later when I found him in the attic. I mean, you know.
After my grandfather passed, that's when we saw his pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those stories make it real, and you sit there and listen to their stories. One gentleman in there worked for 3 years on a Navy destroyer in the North Atlantic. I mean, you know, and he said we were constantly harassed by German submarines and all the other problems of trying to navigate in the North Sea area, and it makes it real.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and you hear the stories of the kamikazes coming in on the aircraft carriers and the other ships of the flotilla, and you know, you can talk about it or read about it, but when you're there listening to the guy that was right there and the fears that they had, but the job that they still ended up doing, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father was on a destroyer too. And I remember him talking about the depth charges.
Yeah.
And going after the German submarines. Yeah.
Yep. So, and we've, you know, certainly had folks from all the different branches, you know, initially it was the Army Air Corps, later became the Air Force. Of course, we've had those guys, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, Army, Air Force. They're well represented in all those fields. And guys, even who worked some of the cargo ships at the time, were not classified as military, and then later on were recognized. Well, we had a lot of those guys that did the transport, supply ships.
Sure, supply ships. That's number one.
Yeah. You got to get the stuff.
You got to get the troop food, or they ain't going to fight for you. Got to feed them. Got to get them bullets.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, World War II, there was so many people that were involved in it. I mean, it's just
16 million.
16 million people.
16 million people in uniform. And then a lot, we had one woman that went on, she worked at Boeing. Her name was truly, she lives in Riverhead out here on Long Island, Rosie. She was really, truly a Rosie the River, because she worked at the Boeing plant in Seattle, Washington, building planes, you know. And she was on one of our trips. And then we've had a number of other women that they used to they used to transport the planes out of Washington and the other places that the planes were manufactured, and they would send them, they would fly them across country to wherever they were needed.
Wow.
Going next.
My mother was involved in something too. but she never talked about it. She was in uniform. Remember that? She had a couple of pictures in uniform.
Oh, she told me she did something with the USO.
USO,
Yeah.
or the Waves or something like that. Waves or Wax or...
Well, Waves are Navy, Wax are Army, and
Right.
USO is a great organization
Right.
as well. Yeah, so we're looking for people here on Long Island, and if anybody is watching this program who is not from Long Island, please remember that there are 130 hubs around the country.
So there's a place for you to...
Go to honorflightlongisland.org is ours, but honorflight.org is the main
hub, and that'll take you to wherever you need.
And they'll show you the hubs and where they are, and you know, they can sign up with any one of the 130 hubs around the country.
Wow.
And go.
Well, Bill, I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing for the vets.
I did find one picture that I wanted to bring up because it's just so cute, and I assume that there had to be some kind of
Backstory?
Yeah, a backstory to this. Brittany, there's a picture of I'm going to call it two nurses. I'm going to say, maybe, if you can bring that one up for me. Hopefully she knows the one I'm talking about. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? It's so cute.
No, they are reenactors who are at the World War II Memorial, along with the gentlemen in the aviation outfits there. And they are down there, and they just, you know, say hello to the, you know, to the guys and kiss them on the cheek and make them feel really, really good. And, yep.
That is adorable.
Isn't that great?
Yes, I love it.
It is.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys do your flight, it's not all the same time. Everybody flies different times, right?
That
across
is
the country.
essentially correct, yes. However, on a particular Saturday, which seems to be the main day, you can get 5, 6, 7 different hubs there on the same day. And it all kind of works out. It's not bad, but you know, we're flying on a Sunday in September, so there probably won't be that many other hubs going down. But it's all manageable, you know, it's not, you know, we run into other hubs all the time and get to say hello and chat and whatnot, so it's
Well,
all
that's
good.
great. Boy, you know, I can't thank you enough for coming in and talking about it. I know
Glad to be here.
It's a great organization, and I'm sure we're going to give you contact information there, so.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Be all set. Thank you, Bill.
Thank
You're welcome. Thank you.
And take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
I want to do it. I want to go.
Cool. Yeah, please reach out.
Oh, yeah, I got to get.
It's always been important to us to have music a part of our lives, part of our children's lives. At Village Music Shop, Bonnie and Chuck have not only made it possible for our kids to learn and understand and read music and enjoy playing a musical instrument, but they've also made it fun.
I really like coming here. I like coming to Village Music because everybody here is nice.
And they've inspired some creativity and imagination and taught them discipline. And along the way, they've gotten some self-confidence, really been like a part of our family.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
What's up, guys? We're Scano Fair, and we're here with Inravio. If they catch you at a show with one of these bracelets, you will win $100.
That's a lot of money.
So get a bracelet.
Do whatever it takes to get that. Hit them up online.
Hi, my name is Aaron from Real Big Fish.
And I'm Ed from Real Big Fish.
And you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Well, that's the end of the weekly show. We had a great show today, so Woodstock, right?
Honor Flight, Long Island.
Honor Flight, Long Island.
I want to go.
Woodstock's going to be 47-year anniversary, right?
I know.
This year.
Yeah.
And Honor Flight, Long Island, so yeah.
I got to get Mickey so we can go.
Get Mickey so we can
Yes. Call him up, tell him I got a date.
go? Got a date? Get him over there? All right, so that's it.
That's it for us for tonight.
Until we see you next week.
Yes. Thank you again, Bill.
Thank you again, Bill.
You're welcome.
See you later. Bye.
Take care. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
No, baby.
All right.
Thank you.
I think we got